ways to improve your time management skills now. You'll feel burnt out because of the amount of work or people expecting you to meet unreasonably high standards. Do the task you get just keep stacking and stacking on each other as the inevitable progress of time continues. One way of solving this is to manage or use your time effectively to release the burden of doing so much while also having the ability to effectively get more things done each day. Surprisingly, successful execution of time management will lead to less stress and more willpower to finish jobs and tasks. These skills are subjective. The general skills required to improve time management will need to be developed before one can hone their focus. As a matter of fact, you should pay attention to what it is best for your daily routine, not to what others think is best. Having said that, we don't imply that what we're going to be listing in our video is not going to help you. They will. You'll just need to find the right formula for your situation, mix up the dials here and there, a few experimentations, and arriving at your desired perfect time saver technique will be just within a few inches reach. So here are 10 ways to improve your time management skills now. But before we get your fix on, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video from us. Alright, let's get started. Number 1 is find someone who can help. Everyone ends up overextending themselves when they accept work more than they can handle. This happens especially when people attempt to complete too many tasks, which happens all the time. And this inevitably leads to stress piling up and finally a meltdown. Wait, does that mean I should just avoid doing all of these tasks? No, it's not about avoiding tasks, but being responsible to know when you cannot do it. By assigning responsibilities to everyone in a row, creating a hierarchical list of tasks, and demonstrating each member's position in the project, your team members will be more invested and share the load. Your team members who take on these roles will also help their teammates improve the well-being of those below them. This doesn't just work in teams, but also in your family and friends as well. When things are far too much for you to handle, maybe your brother can give you a hand in exchange for some bowling time later. Number 2, do the hardest thing first in the morning. To save time, we should want to eat the frog at the start of the day. No, I don't mean an actual frog, but the most daring task that you have. The job that would not take the most of your time, but the most brain processing power. Of course, it's going to be hard like eating an actual frog, and it's life. Nothing about life is easy, but ironically, this method will transform your life experience into something more of a breeze as it will undoubtedly help you in saving lots and lots of minutes. Starting out with the most uncomfortable task will help you gain confidence in being more productive during the period of the entire day. Why? Finally finishing up that intense, impossible-like task will leave an expression of, I actually did that? Seems like nothing can stop me now on your face, giving you the energy needed to actually sail through the storm of the day. It's easy to say to gain confidence, but it's actually rigid to do that by just telling yourself. Doing the most important work first thing in the morning will provide you with the trust of finishing these excruciating queries throughout the day. Start on the impossible, then hardest, strenuous, then difficult, and the line continues until you finally get to do the last chore of the day. And finally, you can now relax, knowing that every bullet point on your to-do list has been checked will be your fuel in living this life. Number 3, have a schedule. Be sure to pack an organizer with you so you're not unaware of any other items you should plan to add to your list. When you're working on various goals, see if you can sense how they are approaching completion and what each one tasks are you reaching. And by doing that, you remain inspired. Having a schedule and a to-do list will keep your mind focused and uncluttered. It's not optimal for us human beings to just remember things. Do you know how anyone can just remember all of the things they have to do on the top of their head? Chances are, no one. Not to mention, listing down something and having a must-do schedule remains your sanity by assisting in keeping tasks on track. By this, you actually have more energy to focus on the one thing that's on the top of your notebook and complete it. Number 4 is to set a deadline. To some degree, we all deal with procrastination. We don't have a deadline for something. We tend to procrastinate for a long time. It's difficult to concentrate on it, and there's no sense of urgency, so we'll address it later. Things are different when there is a deadline. Even when we have a deadline, it can be difficult to stay focused on a task for an extended period of time. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. It appears that distractions are more enticing. However, when the deadline nears, all of our excuses seem to vanish. Our minds become sharper in some way. It's not as difficult to concentrate now. We become energized. These seems to happen a lot with most folks I've met, particularly students. We all enjoy procrastinating, but when it comes down to it, we are possessed by a force that forces us to labor for long periods of time. Due to the oncoming doom of a deadline, we end up working for longer and more successfully without interruption. Deadlines instill a sense of urgency, raise the stakes, and holds us accountable. These are the essential nutrients for anyone who wants to feel energized. We can and should make better use of the power of deadlines. A deadline may help any endeavor, no matter how big or small. Deadlines assist us to increase our performance and efficiency. Number 5 is overcoming procrastination. How many times have you been absolutely inspired to work, sat down to get started, and then encountered the hurdle 20 minutes later and decided, man, I'll do this later? It has happened far too many times for me to keep track of. For almost a year, I've been dealing with a project. Multiple deadlines were missed, mistakes were made, and I tremble and moan every time I think of this project. Working on it is excruciating for me, not because I despise it, but because I really want it to succeed. And it's because I'm terrified of the pain that I procrastinate. Resistance, often known as procrastination, has just one solution: put up with the discomfort. The suffering is entirely mental. It will hit you hard and fast as soon as you start working. You could be tempted to watch encouraging movies to enhance your enthusiasm temporarily, but that enthusiasm will fade as soon as the second wave of resistance comes. Working on the project you need to work on the most is torturous because you're afraid of failing. The resistance continues to strike. Every 5 to 10 seconds, you might say to yourself, why don't I just read manga? Or why don't I just watch YouTube or Netflix? Or why don't I just open a video game? Or why don't I just take a nap? Even when I'm making progress on the project and building momentum, resistance is persistent. Why don't you take a rest? It says, congratulations on achieving your daily objectives. Now it's time to unwind. You've put in a lot of effort and I'm proud of you. Take a look at YouTube. Reddit is a good place to start. The emotional anguish and torment that come with continuing to work are interminable. It is nevertheless amazing and life-affirming. My friends, you must bear the agony. Just suck it up and do the work. You won't go anywhere with cheap motivation. Psychological techniques that try to reframe your perspective or manipulate your brain into liking your task could also fail. These are merely short-term fixes that won't hold up against the never-ending barrage of procrastination. We all make the mistake of believing that procrastination can be overcome with a motivational quote, a timetable, a task list, a shot of caffeine, a mental shift, a meditation session, or a self-encouraging slogan. You simply just have to force yourself. Use the power of momentum and tell yourself that you'd only work on your task for 5 minutes and that's it. By the time comes, you may have noticed that 5 minutes have already passed by many times over. Or you may not even have noticed it at all because you are already so deep into your work that time just passes by. This is a place where you want to be, where you are so involved in your job that you tune out everything else but your work. That is the power of momentum. But remember, you only intend to work for 5 minutes only at the beginning. The point here is to just get started, force yourself, and suck it up. And remember when Nike says, just do it. Alright, quick pause. If you're liking this content so far, please remember to like and subscribe so that encourages us to make more videos like these. Okay, let's move on. Number 5 is deal with stress. Accepting more work than we are capable of accomplishing causes stress. As a result, our bodies begin to feel weary, which might have an impact on our productivity. Stress manifests itself in different ways for different people, but there are some effective techniques to deal with it. Taking a walk outside, working out, meditation, making a call to a friend, taking part in your favorite pastime, playing music, or listening to a podcast. When it comes to decreasing your stress reaction, the goal is to figure out what works best for you. Try a couple of breathing methods if you don't have time for anything else. These are simple to execute and have been shown to reduce stress-inducing chemicals. Alright, just a quick pause here. If you're liking this content so far, please remember to like and subscribe, as this helps our channel reach other people like you who want to succeed in life. Okay, let's move on. Number 6 is do not multitask. Most of us believe that multitasking is a good method to get things done, but the truth is, we perform better when we focus on one activity at a time. Multitasking is inefficient and should be avoided if you want to enhance your time management skills. To help you stay focused, employ to-do lists and deadlines. You will be able to improve your performance in this manner. Wait until you've completed one before beginning another. You'll be shocked at how much more you can accomplish. Number 8 is waking up early. The majority majority of successful people have one thing in common. They get up early in the morning to sit, think, and organize their day. You are more peaceful, creative, and clear-headed when you get up early. Your energy levels start to drop as the day goes on, affecting your productivity, motivation, and focus. If you're not a morning person, consider rising 30 minutes earlier than usual. You'll be surprised at how much you can accomplish in that amount of time. If you don't want to work, use it to get some exercise or have a nutritious breakfast. This type of regimen will also help you be more productive throughout the day. By defining the goals, you can reduce the amount of time you spend thinking about your future plans. Number 9 is to take regular breaks. Take a 10 to 15-minute rest whenever you feel fatigued or agitated. Stress can have a negative impact on your health and productivity. Even better, set out time for your breaks. It allows you to unwind and return to work with renewed vigor. If you know a break is on the way, you'll be more inclined to push through boredom or a lack of drive to complete the task at hand. Take a walk, listen to music, or stretch for a few minutes. The greatest option is to take a complete break from work and spend time with friends and family. Number 10 is say no. If you believe you're already overworked, politely decline extra assignments. Before committing to take on additional work, have a look at your to-do list. Many people fear that saying no will make them appear ungrateful, but the truth is, saying no is one of the most effective strategies to prioritize your time and self-care. When you take care of this, you'll discover that you have more energy to dedicate to the things that matter, which your friends and family will enjoy. Alright, that wraps it up. I hope you learned something here. But did you know what truly reap the benefits from watching this video? You have to apply them in your life. Let us know in the comments below which time management skill you are going to try first. Thank you for watching, and remember, always have your attention fixed on success. See ya next time.